time to move on, Harris, because we got a lot to talk about here. We got to move on to what's up with David Arquette.
You cannot kill David Arquette! You cannot kill David Arquette!
All right, Harris. It's finally here. The trailer for You Cannot Kill David Arquette has come out. It came out a couple of days ago. It was released first on IndieWire, and I immediately recorded that and put it up on Twitter and Instagram before anyone else did. I might mention, I put this up first. As far as I know I put it up before David Arquette or Christina Arquette or any of them put it up anywhere. I don't think it got the love that it deserved. Other people put it up afterwards and got a lot more retweets and stuff on it, so I was a little disappointed on that, but just wanted to put that out there. I put it up before a lot of the official people go. But Harris, I don't know if you've watched it yet, but we're going to watch it here and react to this on the podcast.
That's right. Everyone playing along at home, bring it up, find it on our Twitter page.
Yep. Go to behind_gorilla. You can scroll down a little ways and you'll see the trailer there, and got it pulled up here. We're ready to hit play and react to this thing live. So, all right, Harris, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, play.
An untrained 150-pound Hollywood actor wins one of professional wrestling's most prestigious championships.
It's the biggest disgrace in professional wrestling history.
It was a lot to handle to see David at this point. Everything was feeling pretty good with our careers, and all of a sudden he wants to start wrestling.
Did David Arquette just... What's going on here? David Arquette won the world title!
This is a guy who won the title on a fluke. A guy like David Arquette sticking his nose in the ring. They look at that and go, see, wrestling's a joke. Because David Arquette's a f***ing joke.
How is the drinking going? Are you able to control it, or are you just completely out of control?
I control it. I mean, I drink, I have my wild nights once in a while.
I started drinking more just to sort of like, I was unhappy. I wasn't being true to myself.
Media thinks I'm a bit of a joke. Hollywood doesn't take me seriously. I would love to be able to wrestle. Prove myself. I care about respect.
I'd like to announce my return to professional wrestling.
He's 46 years old. He is so impressive.
When he started wrestling again, and it is scary, I mean, he had a heart attack.
What the f*** is going on? What is the point of all of this?
All right, Harris.
Dude, this looks awesome.
Okay, now first, had you seen this before?
No, I hadn't watched it.
Oh, you had? I can't believe you hadn't watched it yet. But that's even better. So we got full fresh reaction here from Harris. I'm gonna apologize to everyone. There is some language in the video in the trailer I forgot about, but sorry.
Now that they've watched it, we're like, oh, whoops.
Yeah, sorry about that. Any kids that were listening, try and keep mostly a clean podcast. But yeah, so that's the trailer for You Cannot Kill David Arquette, the documentary on his basically the past 2 years of his life and his return to the professional wrestling world. Man, I can't wait.
It looks awesome, dude.
It looks
so cool.
good.
It sets the stage so well. And this is one I'm a big fan of. As somebody who got into wrestling really late in my life, I'm a huge fan of anything that could be like a potential bridge for people who don't watch wrestling.
Mhm.
And this is kind of perfect for that. Like, it explains it right off the bat. Is that Mr. Kennedy?
Yes, it is.
saying, oh, people see David Arquette win the world title.
Yes, it is.
And they're like, see, wrestling's a joke. That's such a remarkably articulate statement of the problem, which is hard to explain to other people. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't know wrestling, you're like, yeah. Like, I know it's fake, but you have to kind of take it seriously and suspend your disbelief. And this didn't do that. Like, it can be a complicated issue, but man, he nailed it. And then they don't I like that they didn't explain a lot after that. It's just, here is David Arquette being a professional wrestler and his crazy, crazy life journey.
Yeah.
The stuff in the hospital looks freaky.
Yeah.
I know he didn't set out for this to happen, but boy, what a perfect thing to happen for this movie, that he almost got killed doing a death match with Nick Gage, almost bled out. I mean, I can't wait to see the footage they got from that. It sounds a little cruel to say. I'm not glad.
What do you mean?
That it happened,
You mean
but
like
my
from the
goodness.
aftermath from it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like the scenes of them trying to treat him and stuff.
Right. Yeah, no, it looks intense, and I love how it's, because originally the idea was, oh, this will be fun. Let's just his idea was like, let's just make this like fun thing of me going back to wrestling. And I don't remember the names of the directors. I do forget. I forgot what their names were, but they were saying that was kind of the initial thing, but then they very quickly saw that there were so many more layers to this than what the original idea was. And then it became basically just this introspective into the psyche and everything of this actor who has just been through so much stuff over the past 25 years. And it all kind of culminated in this. Basically,
right.
Because it's a midlife crisis. That's 100% what this was. And that's, I don't think, what it originally was thought of that it actually was going to be, maybe by him or whatever. But that's clearly what it was and what happened. And a lot of stuff came as a result of this, not just, the fact that he was becoming a wrestler. And so I love that that's what it seems to be harping on and what it seems to be focusing on. And it's much more of a character piece than it is anything else. But at the same time, you're going to get a deep dive into the world of indie wrestling, like on top of all this. So I agree with you. It's going to be this perfect bridge from these Hollywood people that have zero respect for wrestling or know anything about it, and we'll be able to now see it through someone else that they know, and hopefully get a much clearer picture of what wrestling actually is. And who would ever thought it would be David Arquette that would be the one to do that? Because for the longest time, he's been the number one joke in the history of wrestling. And that's where this whole thing came from. It's because he was sick of being the number one joke of wrestling, because he loves it so much. And it's to shirk that image. But at the same time, he ends up bringing a whole lot of other people around on what wrestling is actually about. And so it's just this perfect full circle of someone going from the biggest joke in the history of wrestling to now being a bridge to bring in people who would never know anything or care anything about wrestling, to then potentially knowing more about it.
Well, this is why, we joke a lot about surprise David Arquette and like the crazy, wacky things that we cover on this podcast. David Arquette is and always will be our patron saint.
Of course.
But the reason that's the case, like that's what this documentary is capturing in a way that, we don't always fully articulate. But you're right. For years, for decades, he was a one-man punchline, like the biggest joke in professional wrestling. But there is nobody out there who embodies like the spirit and a healthy respect for the art form of pro wrestling better than David Arquette.
Right.
And that's what this is setting out to kind of capture, to tell that story and fully appreciate exactly what it is that this guy's doing. I mean, I feel like that's kind of what we've been about from day one. I'm not saying we did it first because, obviously he was wrestling before we adopted him as our patron saint. But
Not by much, because he started in the summer of 2018. We started in February of 2018.
Okay, so we're taking credit for this then. That's what I'm hearing.
We're taking credit for this.
All right, sweet. Sounds good.
We have very little to try and take credit for in the grand scheme of things.
Correct me if I'm wrong. We don't know anything about the streaming situation right now, right?
They don't. No one does.
Of course, this was supposed to premiere. Yeah, it was supposed to premiere at South by Southwest. That obviously got canceled, like everything else. I read somewhere that South by Southwest is going to air all of the films online and still give awards and stuff. So I don't know any details about that. I just saw in passing that that's their plan. So obviously, like a proper premiere is kind of out. But if South by Southwest were to come out and say, hey, here's all our videos that you didn't get to see. Watch them while you're locked in your house for the week. Check this out. Maybe more people will see it. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I had DM'd him a few days ago about it, and the response was they're just trying to figure everything out right now. So nothing seems to be said, and we'll see what happens. So. But it's nice that we finally got something to come out with the trailer coming out, and it looks awesome. And man, I can't wait. I can't wait for it. I cannot wait for this to come out and us to be able to talk about the full final product at some point. But yeah, definitely go and check out the trailer. You Cannot Kill David Arquette. You can find it on his Twitter page, our Twitter page. His Instagram, our Instagram, his wife Christina's Instagram. It's on all those, so you can definitely find it out there. Go ahead and give it a watch, and maybe tweet it, give it a retweet, and try and get more of it out there, so that more people can know about it. Maybe if more people clamor for it, it'll make it easier for them to find somewhere to get it distributed. So go out there and try and make that happen. But anyway, big time thing with that coming out, so we of course had to watch that and talk about it for sure.